So, namaste, distinguished participant to this joint WIPO and NRDC webinar. We are very honored to have you here today on this auspicious day of Lord Krishna birthday. So before starting, happy Janmashtami to everyone. I'm Wibowo from WIPO, and I would like to also introduce my colleague from NRDC who is going to co-moderate this session, Dr. Sahu. Dr. Sahu, you have the floor.
Thank you, Wibowo. It's a great honor and privilege for us to host WIPO NRDC International webinar on WIPO myths, leveraging intellectual property for development. Friends, it is the unprecedented time we are going through globally, and this is the time to collaborate, connect, and cooperate to mitigate such challenge what the humanity is suffering. With us today, His Excellency Mr. Matus, Deputy Director General, Development Sector WIPO. We are supposed to be receive our Secretary Government of India, Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, and Director General of CSIR India, Dr. Shekhar Mande. Hopefully, he will join very soon. He is engaged with some higher administrative work. And also we have with us our Chairman and Managing Director, National Research Development Corporation under Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, Dr. H. Purushotham. Mr. His Excellency Marcelo D. Pietro, Director, Office of the Deputy Director General, WIPO. Dr. Diana, Expert Advisor on Health Innovation and Governance, Mr. Joseph Panakal, and Dr. S. Padmanabhan. And also, I welcome to all the distinguished participants from Government of India, various laboratories, scientists, leader of various departments, IP practitioners of the country, both nationally and internationally. It is a privilege for NRDC to, we can now to this forum. May I request His Excellency Mr. Matus, Deputy Director General, WIPO, to give his opening remarks. Sir, please.
Namaste to everybody. Dr. Purushotham, Chairman and Managing Director of the National Research Development Corporation, NRDC, dear colleagues. It's a real pleasure to be with you on behalf of the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, to welcome you to this webinar on the benefits of WIPO platform, WIPO Match platform. And this, as was mentioned before, is jointly co-organized between WIPO and NRDC. As you may know, WIPO is an specialized agency of the UN system. And in that sense, we're committed, part of our mandate is to work with developing countries in LDC countries to enable them to reap benefits from the IP system. In fact, in a world of innovation, WIPO mandate is to develop a balanced and effective IP system, basically to enable innovation and creativity across the board to all members of WIPO. There is no doubt that the IP is a strong tool for development. The correlation between development and the use of IP is absolutely clear. Actually, if you look all the cases where a developing country became a developed country or high income country, their correlation with the use of IP is clear. Singapore, Republic of Korea, New Zealand, Finland, Norway, and so on and so forth. So our job is to convince member states to use IP and to put IP in the tool for development. At this very moment, we live in a strange world with a lot of uncertainties about the future. But one of the few certainties that we have is that there is a geopolitical shift around the world, and that there is a strong demand for IP. And IP is becoming a strategic tool, not only for development, but in general terms, a strategic tool for progress. In terms of the numbers, notwithstanding the present situation of the COVID-19 around the world, patent application continue to be at more or less at the same level of last year at this time. The industrial designs is similar, a little bit even up than last year. In the case of trademark, and this is related with the commerce, they are down for around 20%, or they are around 80% of what were last year at this very moment. But the demand for IP is very high. If you look at for instance, Nestle, which is one of the biggest companies on food around the world, you may think that they have their tangible is very high in terms of assets, and it's the opposite. Intangible of the asset of Nestle is around 87%. So the vast majority of the assets are intangibles. So with this, in this context of the COVID, we don't know about the future, but clearly one of the biggest winners will be technology. And as you know, technology is absolutely connected with IP. And therefore, it's very often done that in the developing world, the ingenuity of creators and innovators are not well rewarded. And that's our job, our purpose in terms of WIPO, to help them to use IP in strategic terms. And the good example that I always give is Korea. Korea in the 80s, in the 60s of last century, they had around $80 per capita. But at that time, they made strategic decisions. They created the National Office on an IP. They created the sort of training office. And the most strategic one was related with patents. At that time, we didn't have internet. We didn't have, it was a totally different world. So what they did is to invite around 200 engineers, Korean engineers around the world, to invite them to Seoul, and they handled them all the patents that were in paper, books of patents. And they told them, look, you are a clever guy, please look at them, reflect on them. And if you have an idea how to improve a patent, how to build up on that patents, on that inventions, please let us know. All these ideas that came from that group were transmitted to the government, and the government to the private sector. And the private sector decided at that time if that new idea, the new element was something useful for the market. And if it was, well, they patent that new development, that new idea. And these 200 engineers became 500, then 700, then 2,000. And they were not copying. Probably there was some copy, but the main element was the creation or the addition to what has been created before. So the question is, so they used IP and a strategic tool for development. And now we are here in this webinar of the WIPO Match platform, and the idea is to precisely to help members to use to try to connect the seekers on a specific IP related needs and potential providers, or may help also to match the two sides of the coin. Well, during this seminar, you will know that WIPO Match is a platform for technical assistance, but also it's a platform that will for new business opportunities, because through this platform we can create public-public partnerships. There is a source of South-South cooperation, and also project for the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. So it's a very, I would say, broad platform to connect the two sides. Right now, the NRDC is a has a pan-Indian presence, but with WIPO match, we expect that the visibility will increase worldwide because precisely it's open to the rest of the world. So my recommendation is to look at WIPO match carefully, try to use them, and try to profit from this platform. And I wish you a very successful seminar this morning or this afternoon for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, His Excellency, for shaping this program today when we talked about intellectual property and benefit sharing and dissemination of innovation for the peoples, so that the people of the society can access, avail the information of that technology for the benefit. And certainly your point towards United Nations Sustainable Development Goal and South-South cooperation and the way WIPO has taken the framework of this development is really remarkable. And this is also in India, we are trying to develop, and we got a international platform today. And let me tell you, in India also, Government of India has proposed to create that kind of ecosystem. We could not make it, but now we are going to learn from you. We are going to complement you. We are going to supplement you. With this, may I request our Chairman and Managing Director from NRDC, and also I think our Secretary has not joined yet. So may I request our CMD, Dr. Purushotham, to give his opening remarks. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sahu. His Excellency, Mr. Mario Matus, the Deputy Director General, Development Sector, WIPO. His Excellency, our friend from India, Mr. Naresh Prasad, the Assistant Director, Deputy Director General, WIPO. Mr. Marcelo Pietro, Director. Mr. Wibowo, Ms. Dr. Dina, Dr. Padmanabhan, Dr. Sahu, and Mr. Joseph, and all the fellow panel members and distinguished participants. Really, it is a great honor for NRDC to share this platform for organizing this WIPO match, which is a very timely and very new initiative of WIPO, which will be very useful for forging partnerships between India and all the UN-WIPO country members. It is a wonderful initiative. I would like to compliment Mr. Wibowo and my colleague Dr. Sahu for conceiving this and taking this initiative further. In fact, it is a very timely, as we are all in the COVID times, and it is a time for all of us to learn new things and develop new partnerships, so that we will be able to share our resources, the knowledge, and the technology platforms. So in that perspective, it is a wonderful initiative. In fact, at NRDC also, we have a lot of similar activities are taking place at NRDC. NRDC is one of the oldest and largest technology transfer organization in India, which was established in the year 1953. We had several partnerships with WIPO in the past. In fact, the WIPO awards are being given through NRDC in India in the past. Subsequently, now it has gone to some other agency which is doing that. But NRDC is an ideal platform to establish partnerships, to take our mandates together, because our mandate is also your mandate is also our mandate. There are a lot of similarities, there are a lot of supplementaries and complementaries. I think both of us work together, the stakeholders at large will get the benefit out of it. So NRDC works in almost all areas of science and technology. We work in agriculture, food, engineering, energy, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology. In any area, NRDC works. And we have also built a technology data bank, which has got more than 3,000 technologies. Most of them are very innovative technologies. NRDC works with all the public funded research institutions in India. They could be under different ministries, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Science and Technology, Ministry of Biotechnology, Department of Biotechnology, all departments, whatever research is being done in the country, that knowledge is accessible to NRDC. So what we do here is that we connect this knowledge to the entrepreneurs, startup companies, small companies, big companies in India and outside. So far, NRDC has licensed or transferred more than 5,000 technologies. We have filed around 2,000 patents during the last 10 years. And very aggressively, we are connecting the researchers, inventors, and innovators, and the entire ecosystem. We also work with a lot of VC funds. We also work with the Government of India, major flagship programs like Make in India, Startup India. So our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been giving a lot of thrust to integrate innovation, entrepreneurship, intellectual property rights in all our development programs, in all our SDGs. So that is, I think, in our country, this is the best of the time for entrepreneurship. As His Excellency Mr. Mario said, innovation is the key for sustained economic growth, economic development. And Government of India has realized the importance of innovation, intellectual property rights, and they have been integrating in all the development programs. I think in the history of India, I think never we heard that kind of an importance given to innovation. Even the science and technology innovation policy, which is now being revised, has been given a lot of thrust for innovation and intellectual property rights. Even the new education policy of Government of India, which was launched recently, a week back, has also given a lot of thrust for creativity, nurturing creativity, thinking of innovative ways, out of the box thinking. So that is what the Government of India has been giving a lot of thrust. And NRDC also has been working very closely with the government and also the private sector here. We have transferred, as I mentioned to you, more than 5,000 technologies. And bulk of the technologies what we have transferred are to the SME sector. More than 95% of our technology we have transferred or commercialized through SME sector in this country. And we've been also working with many international projects. We have been working with many UN agencies in this country like UNAP, CTT, UNDP, UNIDO, and ASEAN. There is a program supported by the Ministry of Science and Technology, Department of Science and Technology in our own ministry. We have also developed a portal under which we are posting all the technologies, innovative technologies developed in India, and also all the technologies developed in the ASEAN member countries. So that portal is also has been launched last year in the workshop we organized in the Philippines. So a lot of things, similarities are there between WIPO and NRDC. So it is a wonderful opportunity, and Government of India has also been giving a lot of thrust. And this WIPO match is really a wonderful concept. I think we all should join hands together to leverage our strengths so that our stakeholders will get the maximum benefit. I wish the program a grand success, and all the stakeholders, all the participants would get benefit out of our mutual strengths and capabilities. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Purushotham, CMD NRDC, for your remarks and also the opportunity of collaboration as far as WIPO match and Indian innovation stakeholder can get the benefit out of it. And certainly this will make a path breaking to our institutional setup in the country, how we can join the hand and make the difference in this crucial period. Now, may I request Mr. Wibowo, the person behind this program, who will be speaking about strategic benefit of WIPO match. Because let me also tell you, Mr. Bajoe, we have been trying to do this. So kindly help us, kindly give some kind of mechanism so that we can join hand and make the difference.
Thank you, Dr. Sahu, and again, namaste and swagata, suswagata to all participants. So I would like to start with an inspiring quote of the great Steve Jobs, who said once, "Innovation distinguishes leaders between a leader and a follower. Be the market leader, innovate and excel." As Dr. Deputy Director General Mr. Matus mentioned before, and innovation has been the key challenges of the last decade, with many inventions and more IP is part of our knowledge economy, and more demands on different technology, emerging technology like 5G, artificial intelligence, and are coming now, and we have to adapt to this new world, legally speaking and also technologically speaking. And as you know, the COVID has completely disrupted the way of communication, and including the business of innovation, replacing all virtual meetings by physical meeting by virtual meetings. And maybe before, maybe you are not aware, but in this seminar, 350 persons joined this webinar, and that is a good example of how the business is done today. And WIPO Match was born in 2016, if I may say so. Until 2016, the way we were cooperating from development sector as a WIPO entity to developing world was mainly through official requests in writing. Now people are interacting very quickly, swiftly, because all information are available, and that is also the beauty of this new world and globalized world. And as it was mentioned before, WIPO Match is a free online platform to match potential seekers of IP and innovation related project with potential providers. And WIPO Match acts as a facilitator. We are within all the parties involved. But what is important to keep in mind, all the people who are part of the community today, 120 persons, 20 entities, university, private sector, IP office, public institution from 53 countries, they are all sharing the same like-minded approach towards supporting economic, social, and cultural development towards achieving the sustainable development goal. Because as we know, the world they still have a lot of challenges in terms of technology gap and in different parts of the world. And during this pandemic, we were very proud to say that through WIPO Match, we have been able to do two interesting matches that I would like to mention. The first one is a triangular South-South cooperation between the University of Monterrey in Mexico, Redotech Mexico, with Volkswagen and Mexico and SEAT Spain. And the COVID-19 related project enabled to streamline ventilators, the production of certified ventilators in intensive care unit to treat the patient which are not in non-critical stages. And in fact, a first batch of 50 devices were manufactured in Puebla, New Mexico. The second one is another project which is involving the University of Al-Azhar, Indonesia, with the Swiss NGO called Swiss Green Project, and also another funder which is called EKTS funders, who were able to basically enable the provision of Swiss technology to purify water to be brought in remote area in Indonesia. These are some two examples of what WIPO Match is able to deliver. But the underpinning of WIPO Match is mainly to make sure that the last link in the intellectual property and innovation cycle be strong enough to deliver the commercialization. WIPO Match, of course, is not a miracle, but it can amplify the opportunities to do IP and innovation project business with a global community sharing the same spirit of development. And at WIPO Match, we hope to provide an enabling environment to see the impressive compendium of Indian innovation being facilitated towards sustainable businesses and entrepreneurship. That goes along with the strategy of the government of India as well. And we are very proud to say that today we have taken probably the first step together. And seamlessly, WIPO Match also creates the necessary ecosystem, links to the relevant industry from anywhere in the world, and meets the sustainable, again, development goal. India is a huge country with tremendous resources and has landmark achievement to its credit, but with WIPO Match, the best is yet to come. We invite you, therefore, to join WIPO Match by registering directly either as a supporter, and by being a supporter, you will be informed about all the activities and projects within the WIPO Match community. Maybe later, you may join as a seeker or a donor for a specific project that could be of interest to you. And I would like to end by a quote of the wise Mahatma Gandhi, who said once, "For only if your hands go hand in hand with your head, one could properly place science in the service of humanity." I thank you for your attention. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Wibowo, for your excellent information and also guiding framework you have given to us, and also the way you mentioned about amplifying and enabling ecosystem on WIPO Match is certainly remarkably. It will be a path breaking for us, and certainly I am grateful to you for this initiative.
Yeah, and now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sahu from NRDC to make his presentation on the relevance of WIPO Match for NRDC. You have the floor.
Thank you, WIPO, and thank you, Wibowo, for allowing me to give a perspective of relevance of WIPO Match to NRDC at now. And let me also tell you, NRDC is the only organization of Government of India. Prime objective is to connect mind to the market, innovation from the lab to the market, and hopefully we are doing our best. And today, the strategic benefit of the WIPO Match platform for the Indian intellectual property and innovation stakeholders is very, very important during this pandemic. So, friends, when we talked about innovation and development, certainly we must have to revisit United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, and that 17 goal we have to achieve by 2030. So by the way we talked about no poverty, no hunger, good health, quality education, all these objective we need. To achieve this objective, we need innovation, we need value creation in that innovation, and also we need innovation. That innovation is accessible, available, and adaptable to the people of the society. Let me also tell you the enabling ecosystem in India. We have now Make in India, Startup India, Digital India, and also Innovate India. At the same time, we have the Self-Reliant India. The objective of all this flagship program is to develop indigenous process and product for the people of the region, and also simultaneously we can collaborate, we can connect, and also leverage this process and product to the people of the society, and that is the objective. And now in this enabling environment ecosystem, we have joined the hand with WIPO to make the difference. So friends, you know, the Prime Minister of India always talked about innovate, patent, produce, and prosper. And also today in the knowledge economy, it is not a knowledge economy. Now the imagination of the knowledge is more important. Imagination is more important than knowledge in this creative economy. So certainly patent system added the fuel of interest to the fire of genius, because the new innovation, new invention, what we have been talking about in this pandemic, certainly the way Wibowo has talked about Mexico case, Indonesia case, same way many universities will come forward for the solution of this pandemic in the form of new research and innovation. So let me tell you, the enabling environment in the country, we have a national innovation startup policy, national intellectual property right policy, which has created a benchmark, and also the present government has given more focus into that protection of IP, management of IP. And let me tell you about my organizational role. first and foremost, the NRDC role is technology information and dissemination to the people in various publication, various exhibition, various forum, and also we connect to the lab and university and to help their intellect in filing their intellectual property, for managing intellectual property, at the same time doing all value addition and making that new process and product ready for the society. So that is our role, and that is our mission and mandate, and that we justify in this WIPO match, because information is very, very important today, and information and innovation we must have to link together. And information is which university, which organization are coming out with the new solution, new innovation to the society, that we must have to document it and also manage it and protect it and also leverage it. So let me tell you, this is I thought I should share the NRDC website and information about technology list. We have many technology from various labs, various universities, various organizations we have taken into consideration of making commercial viable to the industry, MSME and startup. So we have a compendium of many technology information and that is ready for commercialization and also further value addition. At the same time, we have created a ecosystem for innovation platform framework under the Government of India support, and we have many technology what are available so that our ASEAN partner country can also access. So same way, if we can make it to WIPO match, that will also give a remarkable opportunity to the people of the society. Let me tell you about WIPO match. WIPO match is nothing but a free online tool used to match seeker of the specific intellectual property related development needs with the potential provider offering resource. WIPO acts as a facilitator of cooperation and publicize successful matches, and the service amplifies WIPO resource and multiple existing partnerships through various countries to country. And you know, we have a mandate under the TRIPS, and also at the same time we have the right to protect our intellectual property from our creation, creativity, and Article 27 of the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights that talked about. At the same time, we have the right to share the scientific advancement for the benefit of the people. So let me also tell you, apprise you, we have also a TRIPS agreement. It's called on technology transfer. Under Article 66.2 of the TRIPS agreement talks about the developed countries of technology. Developed country must have to transfer and also help to the least developing country or least developed country on technology transfer and adaptation of technology transfer, and that is also United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, and we need to create, and without this it cannot be possible. So we need to collaborate, and we can make the difference in the present circumstance. At the same time, I would like to tell you, NRDC also at this COVID-19 pandemic time came out with the technology developed by various research institutions, organizations in the country, the technology related to tracing, testing, and treating, which are available in the web, and how this technology can be useful for globally, so that people can mitigate by coming out with a new process and solution for this this COVID-19. This is some of the effort we have been trying to do. At the same time, we also help any individual inventor, innovator to seek protection of IP and also commercialization and also scale up value addition of that technology. That's also we do. And fortunately, we have connected to the WIPO TISC, and WIPO TISC director visited our office. We have a great framework of understanding, and we are doing our best and in protection, management, and also transfer of technology. And NRDC at the same time has done a significant technology transfer to least developed countries under the our bilateral agreement of Ministry of External Affairs, and that is also coming under the TRIPS agreement of technology transfer, Article 66.2. So friends, we are doing that kind of activity globally, and we have a reach out to various countries, various developing countries, least developed countries, and also we have done significantly the impact of Indian technology availability, accessibility, and adaptability in various countries. And at the same time, we also do the academia industry collaboration, so that the what industry needs from academics, and there is a coherence and synergetic between the academy and industry. We did in that, and also transfer many technology in due course of time. And certainly what Wibowo talked about, the vision and dream of Mahatma Gandhi. Certainly the Mahatma Gandhi always talked about promotion of skill, innovation, homegrown idea and technology. And that's the Prime Minister of India talks about today, self-reliant India. And hopefully we'll make the difference in this WIPO match platform, because this platform will certainly make the difference to the people of the society. Thank you, and thank you WIPO for giving this opportunity to speak before this August gathering, because many leaders from various departments are joined today, and we need their critical comments, input and suggestion. Now I would like to request may I request now His Excellency Mr. Marcelo Pietro, Director, Office of the is available.
We will now give the floor to Dr. Twigden. Dr.
Okay.
Twigden.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Dr. Twigden, you have the floor. Thank you first so much, Dr. Sahu, for this very, I would say, interesting and valuable information that you share. We were also very pleased to see that India has been very active in South-South cooperation project, and this is also one of the opportunity that WIPO Match can also amplify in doing South-South cooperation projects. So we believe that with your innovation, you have seen that you are already quite active with ASEAN, which is also a very vivid region. We can maybe discuss later on, with what we can do together to amplify this work. So, Dr. Diana Twigden,
may I request Dr. Diana Twigden, the expert advisor on health innovation policy and governance, who will be speaking about COVID-19 project with WIPO Match. And this, I think, this is one of the topic everyone in the globe wanted to know what is the development in particularly science, technology, and innovation, particularly in COVID-19. Dr. Diana, please, over to you.
Thank you very much for that introduction, and I look forward to interacting with all of you colleagues. Dr. Sahu, we should definitely talk offline at a later date, because I've made some notes of a huge number of points you made that I would like to pursue with you. Now, in 5 minutes, of course, I can just give you a global landscape of a number of things. But just to give you background, so you know a little about where my particular expertise lies, I originally trained as a genomics oncologist. So that means from the point of view of all of the molecular biology around viruses, immunology, this is all part of my early training. I also served on the academic staff of a medical school in pharmacology and clinical pharmacology for several years, and also on the staff of a teaching hospital where I was involved in clinical trials. So that gives you some sort of, fundamentals of the academic background. Now, I am both British and also a New Zealander, and I was delighted to hear the the Deputy Director General say about innovation in some of these smaller countries like Singapore, Norway, New Zealand, and so mentioned, one of my two home countries. And it is fair to say that countries like New Zealand and Asia Pacific countries, which are more isolated, have always tended to focus very much on partnerships, alliances to develop good technologies. And of course, living and working here in Switzerland for the past 10 years, it's not strange for people to understand that Switzerland is another of these small countries which is one of the top countries in the world for lodging of patents. So there's a lot of innovation going on here in Switzerland. Now, much of what I'm going to quickly discuss will be around my work here in Switzerland as opposed to other areas. But I would say that I have worked in approximately 17 countries over time. And of course, because I came originally from New Zealand, Asia Pacific, and all of the regions like Singapore, Thailand, Philippines, Samoa, Fiji, Tonga. It also included India in some of my early work. But because I'm also British and British Commonwealth, which is New Zealand as well, and lived and worked in the UK, you end up with this sort of, shall I say, plethora of aspects to your expertise. So the Commonwealth countries like Canada and Australia, which also of course includes Singapore historically as well, have all been part of areas I've worked. But because I'm a genomics oncologist, typically in earlier years, Europe and United States were clearly leaders in aspects of genomics. There was also, which is relevant here, historically, around about 2000, I didn't bother going back and checking, but the United States was very, very concerned about the lack of capability in all of the science areas of education. And they actually, through the National Academy of Science, set up this huge program on looking at how you increase STEM capabilities. And they called this project the Rising Storm, and they had global experts from all around the world who contributed. Now, I was part of that major project, and even today I've still got my autographed copy of the book that we finally published. So I'm also interested that in India, I saw just recently that there has been an initiative not just around STEM, but there's been an initiative now called STEAM, which actually includes the arts. Now, I think that's extremely innovative, because what we're actually seeing with COVID now is a convergence of all types of technologies. That I think is one of the key strategic observations of COVID. It's brought everybody to this convergence of how they can contribute in some way to either diagnostics, equipment, obviously all of the issues around development of a vaccine, healthcare delivery. I mean, it's its own tsunami of innovation is how I describe it. COVID has created a tsunami of innovation. And as tsunamis go, they actually, I don't know if you know this, but a tsunami normally goes around the globe 4 times before the energy dissipates. Interesting, isn't it? And actually that's how I see this, that actually the tsunami that has been created by COVID is actually going to go around the globe repeatedly. And the effects of this may well be seen for the next 2 decades. So if I can paint that particular vision of what's happening as a result of COVID, I would encourage you. Now, with respect to COVID, some of you are aware that I serve now on the advisory board for technology innovation for Karga Publishers, which is the largest medical publisher in Switzerland, but one of the largest in Europe. And we are in the process right now of evaluating all of the global applications. I will send a few website links to my good friend Bajoe later, which he can share with you. It would be useful for some of your participants to look at how Karga have defined the cycle of knowledge with respect. So it's not just limited to publishing per se, but it's about communication. And it's about how partners get involved. So I'd suggest that you look at that. It's also fair to say that, again, with initiatives like WIPO Match, I think it's quite acceptable for me to say this, that Bajoe and I have been also looking at how Target may contribute to WIPO match in other countries as well. So I think there's a lot of initiatives that are starting up now. I'm going to make sure I stick to my 5 minutes. So I'll just quickly scan over things, and you're welcome to contact me later. Now, in the last couple of years, I'm now going to talk about where there will be opportunities in Switzerland, which might be mediated by WIPO match. The last 2 years, there was a personalised health medicine alliance established between Basel and Zurich, because Switzerland has decided, you know, we're not going to have silos, we're going to be very, very integrated in all that we do. So we have this amazing personalised health alliance network now, which is between all entities on the Basel-Zurich corridor. Equally, Geneva and Lausanne have set up a similar corridor. And this means that startups, entrepreneurs get opportunity to showcase themselves as well. And one that I'll quickly allude to because of the Indian relevance, I recently came across, as a result of COVID, a small group, it's a startup in India, where they're designing a new stethoscope. Now, for those of you who have some background in the medical profession, you'll know that diagnosis with a stethoscope is a lottery, and in fact, depending on how good the ear of the clinician is actually whether they can discern the different acoustic sounds. And actually, when I was doing clinical trials, there was a joke at the time with the cardiologist that we would actually put them into their own clinical trial to see how good they were at actually diagnosing heart failure using the stethoscope. So this has been a long-standing need. Now, there's a group in India, a small group of young entrepreneurs who are actually right now trying to design a totally new stethoscope. Equally, about 4 weeks ago, I read this report of another group in Lausanne at EPFL. They are also trying to design a stethoscope to distinguish the different cough sounds of COVID-19, because the cough sounds of COVID-19 are quite distinctive. So even just from this, and this is something that, of course, I'll talk with WIPO match a little further, because it may be that those particular two groups should come together, these two groups of entrepreneurs, to do something even bigger than what they're currently doing. So I'm going, and then the other aspect I really wish to speak on, because I'm the sole woman from this side on Switzerland on this call, and my good colleague over here, Dr. Padmanabhan, if I've said your surname correctly, is obviously the woman in India. Now, I raise that because last year we had an initiative here in Basel by the University of Basel, but it was both national and international, and one of the invited speakers was a lady from India, and I've got a number of ladies from India who I interact with, but this particular one, I'm just going back to check all my documentation so I refer to the right one. You have this lady called Deepthi Ravula, who is heading the Women Entrepreneurs Hub, which is the first state-led incubator for women entrepreneurs in India. Now, she came to this meeting at the end of last year where we established the Fempreneurs Association, which actually means, Fempreneurs Association, which is the Feminine Entrepreneurs Association. This is really important because I also have seen that there's another organisation for women entrepreneurs in India where the current national president is Yanapu Pukan. She's the national president of FICO, FLO, and she has over 8,000 women entrepreneurs belonging at this point to the organisation. But the statistic of importance to me, also as a policy and governance expert now, is this: only 14% of your 58.5 million entrepreneurs in India are female. So we have an enormous opportunity. I'm actually going to say it again because I think it's so important. Only 14% of 58.5 million entrepreneurs are female in India. So there's a huge opportunity here for even looking at these two organizations in India I've mentioned, and one of them has already interacted with us here in Basel. Through WIPO Match, there is an enormous opportunity, and there will be many of these women entrepreneurs who will be working in the COVID-19 space. Why? Because many of them are the homemakers, and they will also have these amazing insights. And just like Albert Einstein said, who someone put up on the screen earlier, imagination is far more important than knowledge. My last point I'm going to make is that the COVID-19 tsunami has also caused, pandemic has also caused a tsunami of publications. And this, of course, is relevant for all the medical publishers with open access, everything now, and how we do academic research, research partnerships with industry, how government plays a part in all of these issues. It's also meant that in terms of clinical trials, we had in a space of 3 months, we had some 4,500 new clinical trials initiated. I also have been a member of Cochrane Clinical Trials for approximately 25 years, but in the last number of years, last 5 or 6 years, I've been very, very active in a lot of their new initiatives, and I'm participating in the COVID-19 clinical trials, the meta-analysis, the systemic reviews, and so on. And in this regard, I was given an honour just a few months ago that I've now been appointed as one of the official expert members of Cochrane Clinical Trials. So if that helps you about the breadth of what's going on globally with respect to innovation, entrepreneurship around COVID-19, I hope that's given you some insights. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Diana, for your as a medical practitioner perspectives, innovation, health policy perspectives on COVID-19, and also the way you presented the women in entrepreneurship and role of intellectual property and taken the case study of India. Thank you for we are sorry that we have a time frame and we must have to respect the time, because I'll certainly grateful to you for your excellent presentation. Now may I request Mr. Joseph Panakal, who will be speaking on vision of WIPO match. Mr. Joseph, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sahu. Namaste. Excellency, Mary Matus, Deputy Director General, WIPO, Intellectual Property Organization. Dr. Purushotham, Chairman, Managing Director, National Research Development Corporation, NRDC, Government of India. Dr. Sahu, Dr. Diana Twigden, Dr. Padmanabhan, and Mr. Bajoe, Wibowo. Excellencies, honorable guests, and distinguished participants. It gives me immense pleasure to present you the vision of WIPO Match platform. In our humble goal to reach out to the common man via our platform, WIPO Match, and to open up all avenues possible in making IP and its products easily accessible. In order to achieve our goal, we are making our platform innovative but simple, user-friendly, and easily accessible from any remote corner of the globe. The vision of WIPO Match is to empower innovativeness and creativity of IP stakeholders by enabling to build a dynamic platform which help foster global development. In order to do so, we need to display IP and innovation projects to stakeholders from least developing countries, developing countries, and countries in transition to help them identify the right partners in building their goals. We also need to amplify WIPO's limited resources. In addition, we need to help discover offers and needs to make right decisions and help consolidate the business relationships using IP. In order to do so, we need to connect all dots and make links between existing projects and relevant partners. Our vision is also to assist and provide innovation dynamics towards the IP projects as follows. By building awareness and doing promotion, like providing new projects and encouraging enrollment of supporters, providers, and beneficiaries. We also require to build and match current registered offers and needs, increase the participation through private sector offerings, boost the new existing collaborations and matches. The unique features of WIPO match is simple, organized, natural, consistent, reliable, and a global network. Simple because the database itself has a simple interface that provides quick access to information. Systematically organized, which helps to easily locate the requirements. Natural, it is simple and user-friendly and helps to identify the needs. Consistent, because it's technically reliable and can avoid malfunction. Reliable, because all needs and offers go through a due diligence process before being published in the WIPO Match platform. And as a global network, it is a part of the technology facilitation mechanism of United Nations to support the 2030 Agenda of Sustainable Development. In order to achieve our vision, we are upgrading ourselves in the following process: establishment, transforming traditional technical assistance and innovation-related projects to a platform that brings more new business opportunities. Refinement, trying to bring in sophisticated IP and innovation projects by involving private and public partnership. Marketing, we need to bring in more South-South cooperation by facilitating interaction and participation in projects. Increasing visibility, increasing private sector offering by mushrooming innovative projects with mutual benefits to both donors and beneficiaries. Rewarding work on projects to support 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. WIPO Match at a glance has 120 partners who have joined WIPO Match community. The partners are represented from 53 countries around the globe, of which 68% of them comes from least developing countries and developing countries, 23% from developing countries, and 9% from countries in transition. Our global network is composed of 24 national and regional IP offices, 21 NGOs, 29 IGOs and governmental organizations, 15 universities, TTOs and incubators, 24 private sector members, 6 UN agencies, and 3 regional organizations. We hope to build a bigger association with National Research Development Corporation, NRDC, and to work in close cooperation with Indian patent offices and other institutions of the Government of India to achieve our goal of making our platform innovative, simple, user-friendly, and easily accessible from any remote corner of the globe. Thank you very much, honorable panel, and the distinguished participants for having given us the chance to present the vision of WIPO Match before you. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph, for your excellent and dynamic presentation. And this is the need of the hour. And let me also apprise to august panelists. Many leader of Indian patent office are now watching this program, and many controller, assistant controller are there. And certainly your presentation will give a direction, because WIPO is something different who can make the difference globally. Thank you, Mr. Joseph, for your very vividly presentation, and I hope we will make and in a different way, and certainly our dream of this making project we were thinking in India creating IP exchange. Hopefully, WIPO match will give us a direction. Now, I would like to request Dr. Padmanabhan, who was earlier associated with WIPO and also presently advisor of Karnataka Council of Science and Technology. Dr. Padmanabhan, who is a guiding mentor and also very well connected in WIPO UN system, and time to time she is a guiding force for bringing this program to India. So, Dr. Padmanabhan will be speaking on localizing WIPO match in India.
Thank you so much. I am a lay person from outside trying to do my little bit, and I have been assigned the last 5 minutes of this webinar, and the job is to wrap up the entire webinar with a period or a full stop. Now, that's a little difficult because this is going to be an ongoing thing, probably a question mark or an exclamation mark. A question mark because how are we going to do this? There is so much possibility on the WIPO match, and a question mark is obviously how it's going to end. An exclamation mark because there's so much that is possible. Okay, and at this point, I wish to express my appreciation to the organizers of the webinar for allowing me the opportunity to speak on this dais. But what can I add after the very powerful slide presentation by Mr. Panakal, the emotional investment by Mr. Wibowo, and all the possibilities shown by Dr. Twigden? You know, there is very little that I can add. I mean, there is so much that is possible. If the wrap-up is done well, the attendees will have the satisfaction to affirm what they heard and what they should do now. We have a vision, we have examples of successes, we are motivated, and we have the Indian canvas to paint the WIPO match picture now. This is not the conclusion or the end, dear friends. This is a beginning. There are a lot of possibilities, a lot of ideas. India is a very big country. We are a culturally affluent country with artisanships. Okay, it's not only about technology. We have handicrafts, we have innovative horticulture, agriculture, and age-old traditions have understood the need to recognize the crisis of survival. Nature has given India with a lot of diversity, be it climate, be it terrain, be it population or landscape. The richness comes with an innate generosity and a hospitality which now begs to be saved in a playing field which abounds in imitations and infringements. Our human resources with its talents in science and technology and innovation is definitely an asset. As Dr. Sahu pointed out, we have a compendium already on COVID. We need to be in step with the global advancements and respect this resource by allowing appropriate premiums to reach the inventors and innovators. Where can we do it? The answer is obvious. As already mentioned, the dots have to be connected, the puzzle completed, for which we have the WIPO match platform. WIPO acts as a facilitator of cooperation, publicizes successful matches. The services amplify WIPO's resources, multiplies existing partnerships. We are sure that the solution we need might be WIPO match. It is obvious that the existing chaos and asymmetry would be mitigated by the apt application of the WIPO match platform. We are at a crossroad. We need to survive. We need to be fit for the race. We need to pace ourselves. We need to win, and we need to win fairly. WIPO match would be our platform if we see logic. We channel the relevant quality information to the seeker, making the search process time and cost effective with a direct impact on the seeker's welfare by leading to genuine matches. On the WIPO match platform, we see the appropriate connections, fair play, a sure win-win for the donors and the seekers, hoping that this is of benefit to all of us. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Dr. Padmanabhan, for your fantastic, I think, wrap-up, I can say, and the way you create a message of collaboration and cooperation and connection. And this certainly, this is a start. This is not the end. And right now, may I request to the Mr. Bajoe to see some of the questions. But before that, I would like to apprise this August gathering. I received a message and a question and comments from our earlier colleague from DRDO who was heading DRDO ER and IPR department, Mr. Avinash Kumar, he has mentioned there is a huge opportunity coupled with this vast experience and resource of WIPO is going to redefine the WIPO match, and the collaboration effort in the IPR space at the world level. WIPO match appear like a solution looking for problem. So at the same time, he has a critical comments how whether this WIPO match can be only a paper of agreement, or what kind of new direction the WIPO match going to create in the ecosystem and stakeholder. May I request Mr. Wibowo to answer, because they are the player who are making the difference internationally.
Dr. Sahu, thank you so much for giving me the floor, and I'm very honored and to introduce Mr. Marcelo Di Pietro, our director at WIPO, who would like also, before we officially start this session, address a few words regarding maybe what the discussion that we have that has taken place just now. Mr. Di Pietro, you have the floor. Can you see us? Yes.
Do you see me? Okay. Do you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much to all the distinguished speakers and authorities from the Indian institutions and government. I didn't want to talk before because I didn't want to occupy more time, and you are already many speakers, and I think you have extensively covered most of the issues. I just want to add a few comments that is also in connection, if I understood properly, with the last questions that were raised. WIPO Match as itself, it's an opportunity, it's a platform developed by the organization, by WIPO, to provide this, or to feed this huge ecosystem of WIPO-related players in the institutional agencies, in the development side, in the private stakeholders, in research and development, that we think that WIPO is able to put together in this platform. WIPO Match is a very, very large and open spirit, and is based essentially in a spirit of cooperation in a period that more and more developing countries are developing intangibles. If I may say, for example, in the last 15 years, the growth of patent applications of Indian residents or nationals is around, among developing countries, is among 18% per year. Okay. The growth of trademark application of Indian companies or residents in, again, developing countries, I'm talking about South dimension, is around 24% per year. What I'm trying to say that I'm not trying to circumscribe everything to IP rights, but I'm trying to say that India is increasingly sharing knowledge or intangibles with developing countries. And with this knowledge that we can capture through our statistical databases, we can certainly see that there is a transfer of knowledge, of technology and trade among southern countries, which is holding hands together with patent rights, with trademark rights, with geographical indications, or other kind of IP rights. It even could be trade secrets, or even could be information related to traditional knowledge, for example. So WIPO Match in itself is, and what we are trying to consolidate and to improve, is our services to put together people that they want to share knowledge, skills, funds, experience related to intellectual property rights in a very broad sense. And this is our challenge. We have been coming across with many players that they express their needs, maybe coming from LDC's countries or even developing countries, that they have not that they need some assistance to clarify how to package, if I may say that, the need, and how then to represent this need among a group of eventual, let's call, donors or players that are in a position to share knowledge, funds, or something related to IP. So this is our side. We are going just to strengthen this thing. We're going to strengthen our work, but it's not WIPO itself. It's not the platform which is guiding which are the needs. Are the players that we are putting in contact through WIPOnet who are guiding the need, we are guiding and expressing what are they looking for. I hope I have more or less replied to one of the questions, if I understood it properly, and I don't want to abuse and talk longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Di Pietro, for your valuable input. So, as Dr. Sahu, would you like to ask some other question? Because I see from the question that, unless I'm wrong, I don't see any question for the time being in the chatting box, unless I don't know how to incorporate thing. Okay. In the case there are no questions, then since now we are almost at the end of the webinar, I would like, on behalf of WIPO and also Dr. Sahu as well, may wish to say something, and I will give the last word to our director, Mr. Di Pietro. I would like to thank you for all your valuable time and input. This is only the beginning. We have just started, and I would like to say some very nice quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, another woman, the wife of President Roosevelt, who said, "Chance happens when preparation meets opportunity." And now we have created the opportunity, not only to know better each other virtually, but hopefully, you know, in the future we may meet when the condition will be better and deliver beautiful project together to improve the humanity. I think it's very important because this time of pandemic has, in a way, pushed us to be more self-centered to ourselves and our families. And I think we should be positive. And I think this WIPO platform is definitely a way to interact worldwide in a very quick manner and with trust. So, Mr. Di Pietro, maybe you may wish to add something from WIPO perspective as a closing. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, and unmute. You hear me, no? Yeah. So I would like to particularly thanks our friends from India for organizing this activity, and we are looking forward to strengthen our links, cooperation, and concrete actions. So thank you very much, Dr. Purushotham, and thank you very much, Dr. Sahu, for, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce very well your name, but
yes.
I did. Okay, thank you. But thank you very much for your support. And if I may say some last words, I would like, if possible, after this, what I would like to have as a sort of follow-up of this meeting, to have proposals from India, to have from Indian institutions, stakeholders, proposals to share knowledge in a period that I'm saying is a period of particularly fertile for innovation and creativity. If I may say another final data that it was raised also by Deputy Director General Matus, in the first 6 months of the year, the number of patent applications are more or less equal as they were last year worldwide, which means that more or less it has not been affected, at least in the number of patent applications presented by stakeholders or eventually right holders. In the same period, according with the IMF, that is projecting a sort of fall of the GDP, world GDP of between 6 and 8%. According to our chief economist, the fall in the patent applications should follow or should be around 8%. according with our historical statistics. What does it mean? That in this period, that even though the economy is falling, even though trade is falling, innovation, at least as we can capture innovation through the patent filings, is still stable or even growing. So in this time, innovation, creativity is really a fertile time. So this is why I think that it's a very good opportunity to try to share this and to try to see India as a sort of engine of producing knowledge, to share this particularly with developing countries and through the WIPO Match platform. So what I'm trying to say, we are expecting proposals from India that we can say ourselves introducing the platform package, and to, if possible, to send it to the right eventually partners who can match with that needs. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Pietro. And I will request our chairman to speak something. Would you like to say something, Dr. Purushotham?
Yeah, thank you, Sahu. And I really enjoyed all the deliberations. We got a lot of new ideas, very thought-provoking ideas have emerged out of these deliberations. As Mario said, not Mario, I think Marcelo said, I think it's a wonderful opportunity now because of this COVID times, and India should take a lead in localizing this WIPO match in India, as Madam Padmanabhan mentioned. I think that is the objective of today's webinar. See, they've created such a wonderful platform. We need to leverage that by, as Mr. Marcelo said, I request my colleague Dr. Sahu to take initiatives and lead in conceptualizing some proposals in consultation with Wibowo, and let us submit some proposals and make our partnership more vibrant, more stronger. And moreover, we have a WIPO TISC platform. NRDC is one of the WIPO TISC platform of TISC centers in India. In India, WIPO has sanctioned, I think, 4 technology innovation support centers. NRDC is one of them, and we are already having that kind of a platform and partnership with WIPO. Let us use that platform to strengthen our relationship with WIPO, and really it is a wonderful creation, that WIPO match. That is what India is also looking for. And as we are all aware, in India, not only in India, I think this is the same case with all the developing countries, the awareness is the key. See, not that research is being not done in our country. The kind of resources we spend, the kind of diversity, the size, the research scholars, a lot of research is being done in our country. We spend about 0.8 to 0.9% of our GDP. But what is missing is that whatever research outcomes are coming from these academic institutions, research institutions, higher education institutions, they have not been properly trained how to identify this is a worthy of filing a patent. Okay. Once we are able to create that kind of a awareness in the student community, faculty, researchers, I think our patent filing can be even tripled, in my opinion. That is a kind of research is going on in our country. But unfortunately, most of these research scholars, they are not aware how to do patenting. What are the processes? They are afraid of talking. So we need to create that kind of awareness. More awareness programs need to be conducted, particularly in our academic institutions. Some of the public funded research institutions, national laboratories, they are better off compared to academic institutions. Something we can work out, some proposal along with NRDC and WIPO. If you are able to conceive and implement it along with WIPO, that creates a great awareness among our research community. And through that, our India is also, as I mentioned to you, a lot of research is taking place, but in terms of filing patents, we are number 7 or 8 in the world, only with 50,000 patents, where China files 15 lakh patents every year. India files only 50,000 patents. Where is 15 lakhs and where is 50,000? The countries of same size, same population. So there is a huge opportunity and a huge gap. Definitely we need WIPO's assistance in creating such kind of an awareness and create such kind of an impact. And please guide us, help us. We are with you, and my colleague Dr. Sahu is very energetic, very enthusiastic to work with WIPO. So please guide us. Definitely we will come forward with 1 or 2 good proposals which can create a good impact in our society. I think I would like to stop it over here and like to listen from other panel members' comments.
Any comments from other respected members of this panel? Mr. Joseph, would you like to say?
Oh, I think we are on the same page. So the main thing is to get everybody participating and to build this awareness. This is the most key thing. And naturally, we would like to totally cooperate with your team and your organization to come up with something really solid and concrete. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Mr. Pietro? Yeah, please. Go ahead.
I would just like to make the comment very much about the convergence of technologies now. That's the other thing that COVID has shown, is that every domain of technology can have relevance. And I mean, we had already been going through this whole process in the last year or two about, you know, the explosion of healthcare data, AI, algorithms, robotics, telemedicine, more specialized global databases. I mean, you know, the convergence of all of these types of technologies is just phenomenal. And of course, now with telemedicine, that's actually, there have been a lot of proponents of telemedicine and a lot of people who are less in favor of it. But now telemedicine is seen as, or telehealth is seen as a fundamental for healthcare delivery. And this is just another of the mindset shifts in innovation that's seen as a result of COVID. So I just mentioned this, that, you know, it's really, we've got so many convergence of technologies. We've had all these situations where companies have pivoted their manufacturing chains to actually do healthcare products. You know, the disinfectants that have come out of the companies that normally produce alcohol and wine. We've got the initiative, obviously, with the ventilators that was spoken with about Mexico. We've got a lot of things that have happened in Taiwan with production of masks and so on, as the biggest masks provider in the world right now. And so there's just such a plethora. I think that's what I would like to finish by saying is, I know there's been a number of quotes from great people, which I think is very, very useful to us. But the one thing I'd also like to say, none of us should forget that the World Wide Web came out of CERN, a nuclear physics organization. All right. So the convergence of technologies, the potential for India with that statistic I gave before of 58 million entrepreneurs, to me is just a tsunami in its own right. And the use of WIPO match has to be seen to be strategic in all of this. So that's my sort of passion at the end.
Yeah.
So much.
Thank you, Diana.
Can I add something?
Yes,
Please.
Yeah, I just want to corroborate on that. It's, you know, like the problem is one, but the solution is multi-pronged. It would come from various dimensions, and the aptness of WIPO match is in it. The needs and offers are there. You know, like, you know what the need is, and you know where the offer is coming from. It could be one or it could be many. So the problem is solved manifold, right? So that's what happens with WIPO match. It's really a timely development, and it's for us in India to make use of it.
Mr. Bajoe?
Yes, I would like just again to thank you all, for all the speakers, all the participants who also follow this webinar. this is a real pride for WIPO to have been work with the government of India, and we know that in about 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, or in about 3 days, it will be National Independence Day. So
Yes.
with a few advance congratulations for that event as well, in addition to, of course, Lord Krishna birthday today. And Lord Krishna has brought a lot of blessing to this discussion. And please extend our best regard to the Secretary, of course, and yeah, for having blessed this meeting with the government of India. For me, it's and of course for those who have asked questions, we will answer you separately because the time now is has come to an end, unfortunately. But we will respond to you to individual by mail.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah, at the end, it is
at the end, on behalf of Government of India and our Secretary, Dr. Shekhar Mande, I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Mario Matus and his Marcelo di Pietro and all the distinguished panel members, all the participants for joining in this very important program, for creating awareness about WIPO match. This is a wonderful a tool developed by WIPO. I think all the participants, I think you need to see how best we can make use of it, create awareness, get the benefits, get the resources from the WIPO match so that all of us will be able to deliver better and serve the societies better. So this is a wonderful initiative. I would like to thank one and all again for conceiving this concept and organizing this event. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Take one picture of the screen. Gone.